we needed another fish tank because Ben's got cichlids in his bedroom in the 55 that are breeding. So we wanted to put Mom and Dad, this is going to be their new little home. But we got this one off of Craigslist for $60. We got this nice stand to go with it. But it leaks. Right back here, when we filled it up with water, the two panels, you could see just a little bit of bone. It was dripping out. So right now, we're debating on whether or not we're going to take the whole tank apart or just take this one panel off and reseal it right here. So we've started to get most of the silicone off. Now we're trying to fight get this top off. Once we do that, then we're going to decide what we're going to do next. We're working on getting this top rim off before we disassemble the whole tank. Because there's caulking up here, it's a real pain. So we've worked the putty knife and some of the other razor blades along like this, like everyone suggests, but getting at the corners is the challenge. So we've got it loose, but to be able to kind of move and break free the silicone, I cut this seam so this glass moves a little bit. It was enough to give me some extra play to loosen up the... I tried heating, don't try and heat this top piece depending on what yours is made out of, because it melts, and then after several iterations it's gonna get hard and brittle. So by moving this glass and wiggling this, I think I might be able to get this corner loose because it's coming up a little bit. Corner's now loose. I'm trying to work it towards the other corners. Once we get this back corner, we can start to move it like that. So now we've got this. Hopefully we can get to the next corner. We may have to still try and cut it. See if we can get this corner. Looks like I'm going to have to work more with the razor blade and the edge, but now at least we've got a good start. Got it completely separated, except for this one panel that doesn't want to behave. So the idea is going to be, since it's loose on either side, because we did that with part of what we were trying to do, we're just going to unhook it from down here, pull it out, and then we can separate it. Got the top off with a lot of struggle, and we did make some cracks in the top, but we got it off without doing any severe damage to the tank. There is a chip over here, but it's way near the top. It looks like it may have already been there. Don't know, but that's high enough. This panel we now have loose. We opted not to take this piece off, which most people recommend doing next because we had loosened a lot of the panels. So we sliced it down here, sliced it in here, inside, and then got the knife underneath it. Now this panel is loose. Next we're going to shoot for this panel because it's loose. Now with this open, come closer, we can just slice along inside here like this, and along like this, and we can get this piece out. We can also have to slice along here. This is a little bit tighter of a fit. There's glue in there. And then we also can slice along the bottom between the two panes. Eventually this panel should come out. Now we got the next panel out. Much easier now. We have room to reach inside and do it. What works best is once we get this out, we can start to get down here and we can lift up and get at it. This is going to get a little bit more trickier with these two little tiny panels, but I think we're going to go for this panel next. You can see there's some chips here and here, but hopefully they're up towards the top And enough silicone will fix just about anything. There's no major cracks in any of the glass yet. Let's see how far we can get. I wanted to get this panel off, but it's proving problemsome. It's too close to the bottom glass, so we went with this one, and we now have a little spot over here that's still sticking. This one out. We're now down to, we've got 3 panels out. What works the best is to try and get the blade underneath it. We couldn't get the blade underneath, so we're going to go with this one next. We've got the last panel free. You can see that it's chipped here and here, but that's the top, so we're not going to really worry about it. So all we have left now is to free this bottom panel from the plastic. It's actually coming out quite easily already, so I think if we just use like this. And there we have the last piece. And now it's time to clean everything up before we put everything back together. Okay, so I've done the blue masking tape along the seam so I can kind of push the caulk into the seam, and it's usually what people do for resealing the tank, so you wind up with nice seams after the fact, nice straight seams. So I'm using the same, roughly the same idea. I guess it's time to just let it sit for 48 hours and water test it. 2 days for it to cure.
Okay.
So it's together. We let it hold water.
For how many days?
2 days. And even though the silicone job is, as we say in our household, drunk monkey, it cleaned up pretty good, and from a distance it doesn't look too bad. So put a bead of silicone here. We're going to put the bottom back on carefully, hopefully. And then we're going to set it up and put fish in it. Here's the finished product. It's been set up holding water for approximately 3 months now. And we have our breeding pair of convicts in here. That this was the purpose of setting up the tank. But it seems to be stable. As I said before, the silicone job is not the best, but we only paid $60 for the stand and the tank and everything like that, so I consider it a success.